Well, hello, my darlings. Back with Eglantine to have a little play getting a base layer on the cover. And there we go. As a do-a-do, do-si-do, back-to-back journal. So I had to go doing the cover. I was really undecided in the beginning. And I've also made a writing board that slides in and out of the top of the do-si-do. So as a writing board, then you can have a stiff board to go underneath to write on pages. So that then gets tucked away inside the cover. So still a work in progress. But yeah, stick around and follow along. And I hope you enjoy. Back in a tick. Right, my darlings, I have oohed and awed about how to even start on this cover. And I've been sitting here scratching my head, taking it apart, putting it back together. But I thought, right, put the camera on, sit down, and see if I can talk it through out loud. So I got this tea-dyed fabric that I think is enough on this one piece that I tea-dyed that I can use. But the idea then was to have a writing board hidden in here. So my first thought was to have a side pocket for the writing board. But you can't have a double side pocket because it's going to make the cover a bit weak, I think. So I thought, well, what about a top one? But then I think, well, I've got to cover all it, if that makes sense. Let's take these signatures out a minute. And so I think I know what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to have fabric on the outside. I think I'm going to have a paper on the inside. And that will be fabric. And then that will have paper on the inside. And then I want to have my writing board. My writing board then, I want to slide out of the top. But in order to do that and sew it all in a tidy way, I'm going to have to do these two envelopes separately. So that's kind of my thinking at the moment, is to take them apart, do them separately, and then once they're backed with paper and fabric, go back and sew that together to create that top flap. So yes, I've talked that out loud now, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pause there a second. I need to check my printer, and we'll get this stuff cut down to size. So give me a moment, back in a tick. Right, so I've cut the fabric down to size. I've stuck these on, but I haven't sort of recreased it yet on that fold. I've just stuck it down with Oohoo. So give that bone folder a little bit of a crease to make sure. And there we go. And then what I want to do is, because I'm going to be overlapping quite a bit here, I want to glue this now to the fabric and then trim my fabric edges down ready to go through the machine. So make sure I'm on the right side of this fabric and just glue this down and then give it a trim. So not all the way to the edges, or at least a bit, and just do it and go for it. I gotta say, I'm not in love with the tall skinny format. It's okay, but I'm not sure if I'll do another one after this. Saying that, you never say never, but right. Get this flipped up, make sure I don't have any creases in there. Get that spread down. That's fine. And then trim down with a ruler and my wheel the edges. My wheel gone, there it is. And then I use my steel ruler sometimes just to gauge how much over, because each of the steel rulers is a slightly different width. There we go. And do the other 4 sides. Hope everyone out there is doing okay. Any of you working on tall skinnies at the moment? And if so, how do you find it? Do you enjoy this sort of format and size? Because I'm not sure at the moment. Oh. Go. And, oh, I gotta sneeze again. Ah. My nose is my enemy at the moment. There we go. And the last one. And then I'm going to glue. I know you don't have to, but I am going to glue glue these then down. Start with the corner. Do I leave the corners on? Or do I just go in and stitch? Hold on, somebody's calling me downstairs. Back in a tick. Sorry, that was calling my name from downstairs. My husband discovered the bits on the table that I brought back from Cardiff today. Went up to Cardiff with friends today and called in. And in one of the arcades in Cardiff town centre is this little delicatessen called Wally's. Oh my God, it's amazing. So I had some chocolates from there, some like a mixed pack of cannolis, and some other bits and bobs that I brought back. And he's like, what is this? And can I have some? And so yeah, so let's get this glued down. Cardiff it was a good day today. Not, no treasure hunting, nothing, like just out with friends, and we went for food, and yeah, it was good. I'm gonna make a right mess of this now. Get these corners tucked in. No, I don't have to glue it. I can just go and put it through the machine, but I want to have a bit of glue on here because it's going in. My stitching isn't going to be right on the edge. My stitching is going to be a little bit farther in, if that makes sense, because I want it to overlap. So the glue stick is just going to hold it in place for me. I might have to go in and get some art into those corners. But that's the sort of idea I'm going to do with the 2. And I'll have to take it away then and pause in order to get to my sewing machine. And just hope for the best here. And if it all goes wonky, then we'll just start gluing more stuff on top. That is sort of the beauty of this craft as well, isn't it? Because if it all goes wrong, you just keep adding to it. But at the end of the day, these are like 2 A4 brown mailer envelopes, so I can always start again because nothing's stitched in. I've still got some more work to do on the signatures. So I'm going to leave that for a moment for the glue stick to take. I might get a little bit under those corners and perhaps hit it with a hairdryer to make sure the glue is actually dry, and repeat that exact same process on this one. So I think the gold is going to be on the top of the do-a-do, and the blue is going to be in the back journal. So get that nice and creased down. Make sure it's the right way up. And yeah, it's just ready to rock and roll then. So right, let me go and get that done. And I think that was it. Yes, and I've printed off a few more pieces that come from my printer that I may try to work out. I need to work out how to make the front plate and the back plate to go on it. So this is going to be one of those videos, I think, of being back and forth to the sewing machine. So I'm going to repeat this process over here, get them sewn through the machine, and then I'll pop back on. Right, so I've gotten these two sewn on. So between the envelope and the fabric and the paper, they're quite robust now. So let's see if I can hold these up to the camera, see if it'll focus. So I've gone around the outside then with a decorative stitch, like a decorative, this is so difficult to do, honestly. I've done that decorative stitch, but then on the inside of where that big overlap is, I went back in with a single stitch. So it's left that sort of relief on the outside as well. But these are going to have plates on them as well. So again, on both of those, I've got, make sure I'm the right way up. Yep, right way up. So that's my front of my dough. That's the back of the dough. So that closes that way, that goes that way. So now I just need to get these lined up and clipped into place. How am I going to do that? Right. I know the top is not going to be stitched because I want to leave that open. So get that clamped first. These sewing clips. Do the bottom temporarily. Get my fingers in there. And yeah, so before I put them through the sewing machine, I did hit them with a hairdryer for a bit to make sure all the glue was dry, so I don't gum up the needle in the machine. So there we go, there's my front. And flip it over, there's my back. Flip it over, there's the front. But I want my pocket to be in the top. So that needs to be stitched all the way down and over and up. So really, I just need to leave those clamps in place, I think. Yeah, just leave those clamps in place. Try it again, Faith. Leave those clips in place. Flip these over a bit. Because once I get that side down through the machine, or do I need to, yes, get that side down through the machine, start going over, I can unclip it to go up the other side. Yes. So that's the plan. Back in a tick. Right, and moment of truth now. Have I succeeded in making, I've got these two now stitched together, and let's see what kind of clearance I've got in that top for a writing board. So nice long tuck in there, and try to work out how much clearance I've got in there for that with the fabric on the inside. I know that's going to be too wide. Oh no, it's not. It's a little snug. Woohoo! How about that? But it's too short. Look at that. Oh, please come out. There we go. So that needs the sliver taken off the side, because it's a little bit snug. So let's take just a tiny sliver off. And round the corner. No, I won't round the corners yet, not until it's backed. That doesn't look square. Is that square? That's square on that side. That's square on that side. Move it over just a tick. No, just tick the other way. And sorry, apparently I can't talk and think at the same time. There we go. It's moved. Come on, I'm just being silly now. I want to tip off just like 1/8 of an inch. There we go. Don't let it go. Don't let it slide. I just want about 1/8 of an inch off that side. And then if I round the corners on the finished piece, I should be okay. There we go. And slide that in a check. That goes in much easier. Now, will it slide in and out with the signatures in? Yeah. I think putting the fabric, oh, don't bend it. Is that thick enough then? You don't want it to bend. Then I could cut that out of thicker cardboard, but I think once it's backed, glued on both sides, I think it will be much more rigid than it is right now. So no, I just need to make this reachable, because right now it's going down in there about 1/4 of an inch low. So I want some sort of tab on the top, whether that's lace, I don't know. It's going to need something on the top that just peeks out here. Let's have a go. I've got 2 punch tabs here. Let's have a go. That's the rest of the box. Let's get a clean edge. And this is just a box from like food packaging it is. Can't remember what it is. Oh. The British Tesco's version of ribs. Honestly, that's the one thing about America I do miss, is proper barbecue. Oh, every time we go back to the States on holiday, barbecue. So I've got this one. Well, no, that didn't happen. Let's try it again. How bizarre. That is not going through that cardboard. Where's my knife? That's not my knife. Where's my knife? There it is. That did not like this packaging. At all. No. Not happening at all. Anyhow, that's my thinking at the moment. Let's just rip it. I can always punch it out of something else. Put that down on my hand a minute. Come on. There we go. There's at least one. Perhaps I'll punch it out of something else a little bit. out of some cardstock or other gray board I've got up there. I don't know if that will be high enough. Let's try this one. Anyway. I've not tried sharpening any of these. So anybody out there who has had a go, I know some people say you can use, no, that punch is going to be folded in half, doesn't it? That's not going to happen with this cardboard. Where's that other piece gone? I've just put two. Is that wide enough? Yes. Cross fingers. Oop. There we go. So is that piece going to work? Yeah, has anybody had to go sharpening secondhand punches with tinfoil or any other method, really? Is that going to work? If I put that on there, is that going to be high enough to create a tab to pull out? So where's a decent paper clip here? It's going to hold it tight. Let's check that one. Does that slide in? Does the tab reach enough if the board goes all the way down? Yes. Not by much, but just a tiny bit. So that could be mounted just a teeny bit higher. And I could put a rivet in there, couldn't I? Or an eyelet to make it pullable. Yes. That is a better option, I think, than that one. That one isn't as tall. I don't know. They're both about the same height, I think. They're not far off the same height. So that's an idea. Put that to the side a minute. So I need to cover that board then with something. So pop that away. I've had a rummage. I've got 3 wallpaper scraps here, but I can't decide which one sort of marries up to the kit the best. I got that one. And again, you've got the kit papers are that sort of gold pink. There's no blue in that. That sort of lavender color shows up. And that's almost like minty color. So I've got that one. And I've got this one, which has got those pops of yellow, but it's also got metallic elements in it, and this doesn't scream metallic to me. And then that one I found recently, which has just got some leaves on it. So I am sort of leaning towards that one for the writing board, because I can go back with my 3 inks, my Portobello, Shady Lawn, and Acorn, and do some magic on that. So that's about where I'm at for this one. So I need to cover this board with that on both sides to strengthen it. And I've craft blanch. Things are going. Things are in motion. There we go. Move these out of the way. Those can stay in there with the clips for a moment. So how do I... Yes, just do it. Do it now and see. So flip that around. I did bite the bullet and buy new scissors. I did buy the tonic, a few of the tonic scissors. And I gotta say, I mean, yeah, every brand new pair of scissors is always impressive because the blades are sharp. It's the longevity of them that is the real test of time, isn't it? But to be fair, the Fiskars, I think they're Fiskars, no, Scotch. These Scotch titaniums I had from like Costco in Cardiff probably 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and only now they're sort of starting to bite the bullet. But I bought the recoil scissors and the regular scissors, the Tim Holtz ones, they were on offer, and I gotta say, they're really nice to use. The recoil ones as well. Not to be a nerd about scissors, but if you work with paper, you are a nerd about scissors. But I could see, I've got the large version of the recoil and the small, where's it gone? Yeah, those. And these are, the little ones are absolutely marvelous for doing fussy cutting. So yeah, just get that mounted on one side. So pencil. Yeah, do I want to do it edge to edge? Do I want to edge it? Yes, do it. Edge it. Pop that out of the way. Glue that down. Where's the glue page? Glue book. Glue book is here. And of course the glue book is smaller than what I'm working on because it's a tall and skinny. Oh. Yeah, just do it. And I might run the finished one. I know, glue both sides. I might give it a bit of washi or a bit of lace. Oh, there it goes. Things are falling. And then run the dried piece through the sewing machine and add that top, some sort of top pull element to it. It's going ski with. Come on. And you might never see this because I might end up editing it out. But no, we'll see. Give that a trim. But no, as I said earlier, we went to Cardiff for the day today I went to Cardiff today with 2 friends and their 2 12-year-olds and had a huge wander around, went to Wally's. We went to, I think it's a chain restaurant over here called Tortilla. And they're all about, I can still see the packaging in there. It's like California versions of burritos and tacos. But I gotta say, it was really, really good. And they actually had, oh, everything's falling on the floor, verde. And only recently I've been able to get verde over here in one of the supermarkets. And no, I love my Mexican food, but I've just learned to cook it myself at home because, it's, well, Mexican food in the States is like Tex-Mex, isn't it? And then over here, it's a British interpretation of Tex-Mex. But no, this place in Cardiff was very, very tasty. But we were looking when we were walking around, and there's a new, I don't know if it's new, but there's like a Brazilian barbecue restaurant that I've not heard of before, and that's on the list for next time we go up. But no, went to Wally's, went to through St. David's, and just generally had a wander. Took the kids to the Lego store, so that's always a treat. There we go. And give that a trim. I'm making a mess now. There we go. Pop that away. Sorry for my squeaky chair. That could go away. That can go in the bin. And trim that down. And then I need to work out what to do that punch out of. Do I do it out of a thicker cardstock, or do I go rummage around for a cereal box that's substantial enough but not as thick as this one? Because it just needs to adhere to the top and take an eyelet, really. And so that's got a little bit more rigidity to it now. It just needs the corners rounded. Pardon me. So I need to go and rummage again in this little room of mine and see what I can find. So give me a tick. Right, I think we'll wrap this up now for a bit. I've inked the edges and rounded the corners. My corner punch was not happy at all going through that cardboard. For that tab, I didn't end up using that packaging. I had a piece of file folder left over that I glued a piece of the offcut from the wallpaper onto. So let's get a hole now into the tab. And gone with brass, I think. And get that scrunched down. And put something temporary in there now to come on. Like a love-hate relationship with this thing. That's not too bad on the other side, actually. That's quite rounded. Let's give it a little bit of a whack. It's not sharp at all. And have a test fit now. Let's stick something in there, temporary, to see what the clearance is on the top. It's funny, I feel far more sort of under pressure on camera than if I was sitting here watching other people's YouTube videos and just crafting myself. There we go. Put that in there. I might change that. Pop the writing board in. Hope this works. Oh, come on. There we go. And signature in here. Signature in there. And yes. So that, if I open this as if I'm in the signature, can I pull the writing board out? Or is it going to be stiff? No, you do have to give it a little bit of a wiggle. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to draw a line in it for now, for tonight. I did have some bits and pieces here that I might want. I need to try to make some sort of plate for the top and something on the bottom, because I want to attach the closure underneath the plate at the bottom. I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet, but still a work in progress. Perhaps add some elements to the inside. I don't know. But that's it for me for this one. And cross your fingers for me and see how I get on. So thank you ever so much, everyone, for sticking with me and watching. And all those lovely people who've left me lovely comments. So thank you very much. And hope to see you back soon. Bye for now.